I got you. Let it rap real quick. Look. The city eyes, it's time to vote God. My God, a real nigga, cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shotty in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, but tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation falls till you fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times 2. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. We told it in the avalanche, way above average. Fans taste sweet, told him make me an apple tree. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope found. Java, come on, man, dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evans to a mall quad. Telling me how them crackers turn this child into a ghost town. Focus out, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Never light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, no tangent. Try to warn them niggas we bear arms like tarantula. Them other niggas rap, I make anthems. I really see profits under this banner. Make my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty to handle. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo, spirit ancient, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Wardo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Pay me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much, boy. Round with Yaradon, just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than Baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence, yeah.
Fuck what them bitches gotta say. I'm a woman West nigga till they put me in the grave. I don't give a love fuck what them niggas gotta say. I'm a woman West nigga till they put me in the grave. I don't care about what they say. Hey. Fuck with my Akima, fuck with my sisters, then I got a problem, I'm never gonna miss you. I got 100 hanging out the AR, I got a 50 hanging out the pistol. He say it's corner, I'm just being realistic. I be on them corner posted with the realest. If it's the Sabbath, then we going fishing. I'm reeling them in, that's a God-given mission. I'm really on 10, but I'm stamped in the pistol. I get the order, be glad of this mission. Hebrew Academy graduate, nigga, training, go through the baddest conditions. I don't fuck with none but the baddest of bitches. She righteous, submissive, she glad to be with me. Had that thing Putin like Vladimir, niggas, she know I'm a prophet, she gotta be listening. Disrespect, I ain't having that shit till I go make some business from scratch. She bitchin' the different breed of black men. We don't do the back thing. I remember back when I was really trapping, trying to get the racks in, selling dope to black men. But now I'm trying to make it straight. Like, forget about my face. We standing up straight, can't fold us. Too heavy, the world won't hold us. Don't use some rank, I told you. Line up in these ranks, we soldier. You can take that to the bank, we focus on. How many times must we remind you? One body, one way, some way. I would never take up as a place. When the law with you ain't no up next. It's just us, nigga, that's that on that. All that weak shit, that ain't no threat. Say you won't beat, bitch, with that ain't no sweat. We with all that. The Lord called a nigga out the world. I responded and called back. Oh Lord. And everything that they stole from us, fuck that shit. We want all that. Them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come under command and general, your honor, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. That's why we unaffiliated with them. I cannot fuck around with fake niggas. We taking ground when we in your city. You better have the women, have the liquor. Keep that bitch on me, please don't butt the system. Don't be a fool and be another victim. Say you a goon, you just another Christian. How you my brother, you ain't in it with me. We in the gutter, deep down in the trenches. We with them niggas locked up in the prison. Fucking Hispanic, Native American, Indian. We ain't just talking shit, but we living in it. We be everywhere, you can't miss it. And we be fresh as hell, take a picture. And we professional with the scriptures. Play, we gon' script from yeah, we some killers. These niggas tripping, they mind blown. Rap in it, forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't get it pause when niggas say that they be looking for niggas to slide on. The slide that I know about is when I assemble the Glock with the slide. For real, I get the order, you know that it's slaughter. See me and my niggas gon' die. The bigger the better for kingdom of heaven. You niggas get wet up by me cause I'm fed up. I rep UPK. My niggas won't let up. Got choppers, got nines, AKs, Berettas. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with what me and my nigga like, bitch, it whatever. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with what me and my nigga like. My nigga like them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. I'm under command and general, your hunter, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Yeah. See, they always ask us like, why y'all fuck with such and such? Why y'all won't come together with such and such? I be like, we unaffiliated with them. Understand me? Like, niggas be out here on.
Salaki, I was on mute, y'all. Shalom, Israel. Yahba Shemi Al-Shah, Barak a thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Lathan by Shemi Al-Shah to the sisters. I'm Priest Officer Karan Yah of the ISBK under Commander General Yohana, and this is the Wednesday night law class. You know what I'm saying? We got a special guest in the house. You feel me? We got a brother. You understand? I'm gonna let him introduce himself, right? But we got a brother calling from state prison out here in California. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and introduce yourself, Ak.
Hey, shalom out there to the brothers and the sisters out there. My name is Israel. This is my first class, literally ever being with the brothers or the sisters. And it's an honor to be here with y'all because, like, again, this is my first time. And I feel like I'm in exile. So being here with y'all is very, 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 very much an honor. And I'm glad that y'all got me here. And let's get to this truth, man. Shalom. Hebrew up.
Most High Christ. All right, Most High Christ. Yeah, we gonna get it going for sure. You feel me? So and like I said, Israel, if you got any questions, just go ahead and throw your arm in the air. You feel me? And I'll answer any question you got. You know what I'm saying?
God.
All right, let me see who we got in the building today. DK, Yabashim Ashabagatha, the water for tapping in. My sister Monica, Yahweh Shamar Alathan by Shemi Awashai, sis. My sister Precious, Yahweh Shamar Alathan by Shemi Awashai. The water to y'all brothers and sisters for tapping in. And Israel, what I just said in Hebrew, to the brothers, Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatah is in the name of Christ, may the Lord bless you to the brothers. Now to the sisters, what I'm saying is in the name of Christ, may the Lord protect you or watch over you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, Salaki, let me put my sword on the screen for brothers and sisters that might not have a Bible handy. So tonight we're gonna be getting into the high holy days. You understand? What the Lord told us to celebrate. You understand? Not what the oppressor told us to celebrate. The Lord got high holy days. The oppressor has holidays. It's not the same thing. You understand? We're going to get to it. All right, let me share my screen. Hey, Israel, you got a Bible on you?
Yup, stay with that. That's my sword. What?
Okay, Most High Christ. Go to Amos 5:21.
Yup.
Let me know whenever you get there.
5:21?
Yeah, kind.
Yo, I'm there.
Okay, this is the book of Amos, chapter 5. Salaki, this shit moving slow. In verse 21, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. The Lord is saying he hates the feast days. You understand? He despises the feast days that us as the children of Israel choose to celebrate in our captivity. You understand? He's not talking about the feast days that he gave us. He loved them feast days. That's why he gave it to us, because he loves us. But these feast days that the Lord is talking about, he talking about your Thanksgivings, your Christmas, you understand? Even Halloween is basically considered a feast day because kids go out, you understand, trick-or-treating, and they bring back a whole bunch of candy and feast on the candy, right? Christmas, the Lord hates that. Valentine's Day, which is a feast day. Some nigga is gonna take some promiscuous broad out to a expensive dinner, you understand, in order to have sex with that broad for one night, you understand, and she gonna change a different nigga every year. You understand? The Lord hate these feast days. You understand? And he said, Salaki, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. You understand? Meaning the Lord is not gonna be okay, let me break it down like this. When you look at the high holy days that the Lord gave us in the Bible, you understand? These high holy days was about sacrificing our best animals unto the Lord. You understand? For the most part, right? The Bible says these clean animals being sacrificed and essentially barbecued is a sweet savor unto the Lord, or a sweet smell unto the Lord. The Lord loves the smell of a clean lamb that's been sacrificed, you understand, to him, you understand, in appreciation for the Lord choosing us to be a special people. You understand? The Lord don't want to smell no goddamn holiday ham, you understand, or no Christmas gumbo. He ain't with none of that. You understand? All of those are abominations unto God. But the Lord said, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. You literally got niggas on Thanksgiving that's joining hand in hand to pray to the Lord. You understand? For giving them that Thanksgiving turkey and that ham, which the Lord told us in Leviticus, the 11th chapter, we're not supposed to be eating no goddamn pork. Pork is unlawful, is unclean to us, right? But the Lord said, though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Like, we literally offer ham as a burnt offering to the Most High God in that oven every goddamn Thanksgiving. You understand? Unbeknownst to us, we thinking that we doing something right, and the Lord provided all of this food for us, when really it's us worshiping our slave master. You understand? It's really us commemorating or Salaki, what's the word I'm looking for? It's really us basically standing in solidarity with the slave master after he slaughtered and murdered the North American Indians. You understand? Christmas, that's us standing in solidarity with our slave master because we worshiping their gods. But the Lord said he hate and he despised them feast days. You understand? But now I'm going to show y'all what the Lord wanted us to celebrate, not what the slave master wanted us to celebrate. And the reason why I'm doing this right now, teaching on this topic right now, is because we coming at the end of the summer, right? The fall season is coming in. The winter season is about to come in. All of these holidays that the oppressor has taught us to celebrate is about to start coming up rapidly. You understand? By the time we turn around, it's about to be Thanksgiving. They already showing commercials on TV for Halloween. You understand? Right? The good part about this season is not only do your oppressor got his fake holidays, but the Lord got his high holy days that he wants the children of Israel to celebrate throughout our generations. You understand? Israel, if you could, go to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. And if y'all out there and you're a Christian, share this class with your Christian pastor. You understand? A person that been robbing the black community for 30, 40, 50 years. Go show him you got a young Negro from the ghetto, you understand, with gold teeth in his mouth, breaking down the Bible like you never heard it before. Go ahead and share that with your pastor so he can understand that you starting to wake up to his lies. You starting to wake up to his greed, his lust. You understand? You there, Israel?
Shalom.
You right there? You at Leviticus? 21. 23.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, bam.
Now you all good, brother. You all good. And I appreciate you attending class. Matter of fact, man, let's clap it up for the brother Israel. You feel me? But this brother, you understand? Like this brother is in class, you understand, from a place of hell. You understand? This brother is literally in hell right now, and he's coming to the Most High God to get out of there. You understand? And I'm gonna send up some prayers that the Lord reverse that situation that you in, my nigga. They clapping for you in the chat too, bro.
Yeah. Tell him I said thank you.
Man, the brother said the water sisters, the water brothers.
Oh, forget. See, that's let me not interrupt. My bad.
Nah, you all good, bro. You all good. You all good.
So look, so I was studying my Lash Kodash, right?
Yeah.
But I fell off because I was just me. I had one brother at one point in time, but he left, and I fell off. And then I'm like, man, but just hearing it, I'm like, see, I'm finna pull it back out. Like, oh yeah, boy.
Nah, it's all good. And too, right? I just now recently got back mobile. I teach the Lashawan Kodash class from Northern California. So I'm about to start coming back to the building every Friday to teach the Lashawan Kodash class. I'm gonna FaceTime you, my nigga, and we gonna get it on. You feel me?
I'm near.
Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ. Are you at Leviticus, the 23rd chapter?
Yep.
Okay. Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1. And Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocation. Even these are my feasts. You understand? The Lord said, Salakia, concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. These are the Lord's feasts. The Lord ain't talking about no damn Christmas. He ain't talking about Thanksgiving. What's coming up? Labor Day. He ain't talking about no Memorial Day. He ain't talking about none of that. He talking about what these high holy days that he gave to the children of Israel. You understand? For it to be a holy convocation, meaning this is supposed to be a sacred event where we're supposed to come together, you understand, in perfect harmony as brothers and sisters, as a family, and have a good time and celebrating what the Lord told us to celebrate. Not somebody getting unalive, you understand, for a plate of some dry-ass turkey. Not your house burning down because you put Christmas lights on your house and a spark catch on fire, and now you don't got nowhere to live. You understand? All of these are true events that really happen when you celebrate the oppressor's holidays, right? Verse 3, 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest, and holy convocation ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. You understand? So now, number one, we're going to get into the Sabbath. You understand? The Sabbath day is a day of rest, right? But, Salaki, let me, I'm gonna bring some more clarity to the Sabbath day, right? Go to Deuteronomy, the 5th chapter, and we're gonna start at verse 12. And I'm gonna give you the reason why the Lord gave us a law to keep the Sabbath. Let me know when you're there, Israel. Most High Christ. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5 and verse 12. Keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee. 6 days thou shalt
Salaki, 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thine ox, nor thine ass, nor any of thy cattle, for thy stranger that is within thy gates, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates, that thy manservant and thy maidservant may rest as well as thou. You understand? So the Sabbath day is for rest. It's for the business owner to rest, as well as all of his workers. Even the animals get to rest on the goddamn Sabbath. You understand? This is how you know our oppressor does not have the Holy Spirit. You understand? You got to fight the oppressor to get 1 day off. You understand? When the Lord gave us a day off, right? But this is the key reason why we have a law to keep the Sabbath on the 15th verse. Verse 15. And remember that thou wast a servant in the land of Egypt, and that the Lord thy God brought thee out thence through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore, the Lord thy God commanded thee to keep the Sabbath. That's the reason why we are commanded to keep the Sabbath, because we were slaves in Egypt. Remember, Moses kept asking the Pharaoh, let us go serve our God for 3 days in the wilderness. These Egyptians were so goddamn greedy, like the white man. They said, nah, y'all don't want to go serve y'all God. You niggas is lazy. We not letting y'all go. You understand? For that same reason why we didn't get a break in Egypt is the same reason why it's a law for us to keep the Sabbath. It's not for you not to buy anything. It's not for you to not cook anything. When you look at all of the high holy days that the Lord gave us, especially the Passover, Salaki, not all of the high holy days, but the Passover is always on a Saturday. Every damn year, the Passover has been on a Saturday since Moses. You understand? And brothers, the high priest, they was sacrificing lambs, cooking lambs. You understand? The Sabbath day is for people to rest. It's not for you. The Sabbath day is for us to not be oppressed. You understand? To give you a time for yourself. You understand? If you want to go buy you a drink from the store on the Sabbath day and chill out and go cook you some chicken, you understand? Or go throw some beef ribs on the grill on the Sabbath day, that's your prerogative. You can do whatever the hell you want. What did Christ say? Christ said the Sabbath was made for man, not man made for Sabbath. You cannot worship the Sabbath day. Do what the hell you want to do on the Sabbath day. Of course, if it's lawful, you understand? Just like David ate the showbread. The showbread was for the high priest. You understand? But David was hungry. The Lord ain't look at David like he was out of pocket for eating that showbread. Just like the Lord didn't look at Christ like he was out of pocket for going to go get them ears of corn and feeding his men on the Sabbath day. You can't just eat corn raw off of the goddamn cob. That ain't how that works. You got to go get the corn. You got to peel the husk off of it. You got to kindle a fire to boil the water so the corn can be edible. Like let's think about it logically. You understand? Ain't nobody eating no goddamn raw corn. They had to cook that corn. You understand? And they sustained themselves. And the Lord said that they wasn't wrong for it. You understand? Because our God is not the God of oppression. Our God is the God of mercy. You understand? Righteousness. And the Lord literally made this law of the Sabbath in order for us to not be oppressed. You understand? So I'm gonna go back to I'm gonna go back to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. And I'm gonna just keep going back and forth from Leviticus, breaking down each holiday. Or Salaki, a high holy day, right? Okay. We back to Leviticus. Salaki, Leviticus 23 and 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. Now he finna get into all of the rest of them. These are the feasts of the Lord, These are the holy convocations or these parties that we supposed to have with each other, you understand, in the time when it's supposed to be had. Salakia. Big shout out to General Hazayan, you understand, that do a lot of research to make sure that we celebrate and Commander General Yana, Salakia, that do a lot of research to make sure that we celebrate these days on the precise, exact, and correct day every damn year. You understand? Salakia. Reading on. Verse 5. In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. Verse 6. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. So we supposed to celebrate the Passover. You understand? Salakia, I'm going to get some clarity on that. Let's go to Exodus, the 12th chapter, to give you some context of the Passover. Like I said, I'm not going to go into depth of each high holy day, but I'm just going to explain to you the gist of most of them. I'm gonna try to give you some clarity on each one, but I'm not going to go into depth on each one, but I'm going to give you some clarity. And of course, Lord allow, as these high holy days come about, then that day, brothers and sisters, we're going to be in the building, you understand, learning about these high holy days like we've done the previous years. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. This ain't talking about New Year's Eve or none of that. You understand? In the dead of winter, right? Nah, this is in the springtime. You understand? When the sun start popping out and everybody start coming outside and flowers start growing and the grass start getting green again and all of the fruits and vegetables start growing. You understand? That's how the Lord get down. He give you a beginning of year, a new beginning of the year when everything start growing fresh for you, right? Verse 3, speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto him take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. So I ain't gonna go into the whole depth, but the Lord wanted us to take a lamb, you understand, set it apart, right? On the 10th day, you know, get it right, you know what I'm saying? Make sure it's well fed, make sure it's the best lamb you got, you understand? And we go kill it, you understand, in the morning on the 14th day. Now, of course, today we don't do animal sacrifice anymore, but we still celebrate the Passover by eating the lamb, the unleavened bread, the bitter herbs, and the wine, and then we got the grape juice for the kids. You understand? But the reason for this Passover is this, right? Salakia. I'm going to jump down to verse 11. And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. The Lord is saying, look, have all y'all clothes on, whatever type of weapons you got, make sure it's strapped on you. Make sure y'all are ready to go right after y'all eat this Passover, because I'm finna do something miraculous, and these Egyptians is about to kick y'all out their land. Verse 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt, I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. You understand? The Lord literally is about to sever us from Egypt, and he wanted us to celebrate this Passover, this first official Passover, quickly. You understand? Put all your clothes on, pack up everything, eat this lamb, this unleavened bread. You understand? Unleavened bread, because we don't have no time to make sure that this bread rise. with the yeast or whatever leavening agent that we might have had. We don't got time for none of that. The Lord is going to sever us from Egypt. We about to have to get up out of here. You understand? Because the Lord is about to unalive all of their firstborn, right? And of course, that happened. You understand? And the Egyptians, they kicked us out their land, but then Pharaoh had a change of heart. He tried to chase us down, and that's when the Lord parted the Red Sea. Israelites got through there, and then the Most High swallowed up Pharaoh's army in that same Red Sea. You understand? So now that's the Passover, right? We're going to jump back to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter.
Hey, don't be I'm always moving because I got to see where the police at. I'll be hearing like they'll be like,
Nah, you all good, bro. Look, bro, trust me, I know. I know. Okay, of course, and then after the day of the Passover, we eat the lamb, unleavened bread, and then for 7 days after that, we continue to eat unleavened bread until those 7 days are complete. Verse 7, in the first day, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. So that first day of Passover, we supposed to come together, have a party, drink the wine, eat this good food, you understand? Now, here in this captivity, you understand, we have a Sabbath service. So we read the Hebrew, you understand, brothers break down the scriptures on the Passover in the Hebrew and in the English, you understand. We go over the history of it. Brothers and sisters sit through the class. It's probably about an hour class, 2 hours at the most. After that, you understand, we get up, turn the music on, drink, party, how the Lord intended us to do. You understand? Salakia. Verse 9. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be coming to the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. And he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord to be accepted for you on the morrow after the Sabbath, and the priest shall wave it. So this is talking about the feast of first fruits, right? Salakia. And then when you read Matthew the 26th chapter, you can see how they celebrated Passover in the New Testament, right? The feast of first fruits. I'm gonna go to Numbers the 28th chapter real quick.
yeah.
And we're going to start at verse 26. Is the book of Numbers chapter 26. Numbers chapter 28 and verse 26. Also in the day of the first fruits, when ye bring a new meat offering unto the Lord, after your weeks be out, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work, but ye shall offer the burnt offerings for a sweet savor unto the Lord. 2 bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year, and their meat offering of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals unto 1 bullock, 2/10 deals unto 1 ram. This is just basically just talking about the measurements that we were supposed to use back in those times when we was doing animal sacrifices, right? But the Feast of First Fruits, in a nutshell, is literally us giving the best of our the best of the harvest that the Lord gave us after we came into the land of Canaan. You understand? Or the land of Israel, which is what it's called today. We was supposed to offer sacrifice for the best of everything that the Lord gave us, you understand, in us coming out of Egypt, right? Just like when Noah and his sons got off the ark, and they was the only ones that was alive, you understand? In order to show a good gesture to the Most High, they were sacrificing animals to the Lord. Cain, he was sacrificing fruits and vegetables, shit that the Lord don't want to be sacrificed. You understand? And he got jealous over Abel, unalived him. That's a whole different story. You understand? But the Feast of First Fruits is the Lord requiring a sacrifice from us, because he brought us into this land, and the Lord wants his praise. He wants his just due. You understand? So we going back to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. And I'm going to jump down. Slovakia. Okay, I'm going to jump down to verse 24, right? It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 23. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. So this feast of the memorial blowing of the trumpets, this is actually our next high holy day coming up on Sunday, the 21st of September. You understand? And then I'm going to jump to Numbers 29 and 1. Book of Numbers, chapter 29 and verse 1. And in the 7th month of the 1st day of the month, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpets unto you. And ye shall offer a burnt offering of sweet savor unto the Lord. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the 1st year without blemish. So basically, these high holy days, it's a reoccurring thing. It's always a Sabbath day. And it was always a sacrifice, you understand, back in the times of when we did animal sacrifices. Like I said, I'm not going to break down every last high holy day, but I'm just going to give you some clarity on what we actually should be celebrating. All right. Of course, you know, brothers and sisters are going to be in the building during these high holy days. So we going to break them down in their season. But like I said, due to the fact that we coming up on these seasons, I just want to remind brothers and sisters that be ready and be looking out for these high holy days that's coming in these next months. And I'm going to announce every last one of them when I'm done with the class. All right. Slovakia. Verse 26. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God. So the Day of Atonement, a 24-hour period where we fast, you understand, to afflict our souls in order to show in order to show remorse for what we may have done unbeknownst to us unto the Lord. You understand? Verse 29, for whatsoever soul it be that should not afflict in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. Now, this Day of Atonement, right? we're not telling sisters that's nursing, you understand, or that's pregnant to fast for 24 hours. Nor are we starving children, you understand, or anybody that has a physical element. This is only for able-bodied adults, you understand, or your son or daughter that's coming of age, and you see how strong they may be, and you can decide with of course some counsel on if your child should be able to be able to participate in afflicting a soul for the Day of Atonement. But like I said, this is for able-bodied adults. You understand? A young brother that's coming up, he may be 16, 15, 17. He might be a young, strong brother. He might can be able to do it. A young sister, she might be 17, 18. You understand? She might be able to go ahead and afflict her soul with the rest of everybody else. But not no children. You understand? Not no babies, not nursing women, and nobody with ailments. All right? Salakia. Jump down. Verse 33. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of the 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord. So this is the Feast of Tabernacles. You understand that we're talking about another high holy day. You understand? Right? Verse 35. On the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you. And ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work. These are the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, and burnt offering, and a meat offering, a sacrifice, and a drink and drink offerings. Everything upon this day, upon his day, Salakia, besides the Sabbaths of the Lord, and besides your gifts, and besides all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which ye give unto the Lord. You understand? And you give all these things unto the Lord. Back then, these were the gifts that you give unto the Lord would be to the high priest. You understand? Or the children of Levi, that was the high priest. You understand? Aaron's sons, right? Because they had no inheritance. They were not allowed to own vineyards, you understand, farms, things of that nature. Their sole purpose in life was to run the temple, settle disputes, and render judgment, you understand, according to the law, you understand? So us bringing all of these gifts to the temple unto the Lord, these gifts went to the Levites, all right? Salakia. So I'm gonna jump down to verse 42. Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths, that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So we're supposed to dwell in tents according to what the Lord said, you understand? Because when we came up out of Egypt, we didn't have houses. We had to live in tents. You understand? Today, we can celebrate in the 7 days in tents or in booths. Big shout out to ISUBK Delaware. They actually went on a camping trip for 7 days last year and actually slept in tents in honor of the day of in honor of the Feast of Booths. You understand? Or the Feast of Tabernacles. You understand? Now, we don't have to do it today because if you look at what's going on with the children of Israel, niggas live in tents right now. You understand? If you look at a Skid Row down there in Los Angeles, if you look at a lot of tent city out here in Oakland and in San Francisco, niggas is already living in tents. America is a wilderness for us. You understand? So we don't necessarily got to go live in tents when niggas already live in tents. All right. So we went over the Sabbath, Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of First Fruits, the Memorial of the Blowing of the Trumpets, which is the next high holy day, Sunday, September 21st, the Day of Atonement, the Feast of Tabernacle. Now we're going to get into the Feast of Hanukkah, or the Feast of Dedication, or Hanukkah in the Hebrew. Now, hey, Israel, I know most likely you don't have this book.
Which book?
The Apocrypha. Do you got an Apocrypha in there?
Yo.
Oh, you got an Apocrypha?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Most High Christ.
Yeah, I do my studies, bro.
Most High Christ. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it's been a long time for me being in that situation. I ain't even knowing that that you could grab one of them.
Yeah, I had one of my sisters send it to me. One of my in the truth.
Oh yeah, Most High Christ for sure. Okay, so go to First Maccabees, the 4th chapter. First Maccabees 4 and 52.
First Maccabees what? 4:52?
Yep, 4 and 52. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 52. Now on the 25th day of the 9th month, which is called the month Caslu, in the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning and offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they had made. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it. Even in that was it declared dedicated with songs, citherns, and harps and cymbals. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven, who had given them good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings with gladness and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates and the chambers they renewed, and hanged doors upon them. Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. Salakia. Moreover, Judas and his brothers with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days, from the 25th day of the month Caslu, with mirth and gladness. At that time also they builded up Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down as they had done before. And they set there a garrison to keep it, and fortified Bethsura to preserve it, that the people might have defense against Idumea. So I'm gonna just break down the Feast of Dedication real quick. The Maccabees, up under Mattathias Maccabees and Judas Maccabees, they went to war with the Greeks. You understand? The Greeks did all type of madness to us. You understand? But ultimately, the Greeks wanted to erase our culture from us by forcing us to get down how the Greeks get down. So in turn, Mattathias, as well as his sons, they went to guerrilla warfare with these Greeks. You understand? And the Lord delivered the Greeks into their hands to where the Greeks didn't even want to step foot on our land because we was giving them hell. You understand? Now, during this time, the Greeks robbed us. They profaned the Sabbath. They had our people sacrificing pigs on altars in our temples. So what happened was when Judas, after his father Mattathias passed away, he held the charge and he went to war with the Greeks and was successful in battle. And he got us a time of rest from being oppressed by these Greeks. So during this time of rest from us being oppressed by the Greeks, we came together and we dedicated to rebuilding the temple, you understand, and praising the Lord for preserving our way of life and giving us mercy from these Greeks and us being so zealous to keep the law. You understand? Barakatai Yahweh Shah, right? So now, Salakia. Of course, you can read about that in 2 Maccabees 1 to 10, a more in-depth look of it. But I'm gonna go to the New Testament. We're gonna go to John chapter 1 and verse 22. Hold on, Salakia. Hold on. Is this what I want? I don't think this is what I want. Let me see. Hold on, give me 1 second. I might have wrote down the wrong scripture. Oh, excuse me. John 10 and 22. That's what I wanted. Salakia. Okay, this is the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication, and it was winter. And Yahushua walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Then came the Jews round about him and said unto him, how long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be the Christ, tell us plainly. You understand? So the feast of dedication, you understand? Christ came into the temple on Solomon's porch. You understand? And the reason why it's naming the Feast of Dedication and the reason why they're at the temple is because Christ celebrated the Feast of Dedication because he understood what happened with his ancestors and the Maccabees. You understand? Salakia. And then and the last feast day, Salakia. We're gonna go to the book of Esther. Speaking about the day of Purim or the feast of Purim. I'm gonna give y'all just some quick history of it. You understand? Because it's kind of like a long story, right? But I'm gonna just get to the main part. Salakia, bear with me. That shit moving slow. Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all some clarity about the Feast of Dedication, right? I mean the Feast of Purim. So Mordecai, an Israelite, I forget which tribe he was from, he had a niece, right? Or I think Esther was his little cousin, but he raised her as his daughter. Excuse me. Now, spiritually, Mordecai, the Lord used Mordecai to have Esther to marry a Persian king to save the nation of Israel. You understand? It was a cat named Haman. Haman was a Macedonian. Haman was a Greek. He was from the line of Agag. He was an Amalekite. You understand? Long story short, this dude Haman, he wanted Mordecai to bow down to him every time he seen him. Mordecai told him, like, hey, look, bro, I'm not bowed down to you or nobody. I bow down to the Most High God. You understand? Haman, he had a top ranking position, you understand, in being under the Persians. He was like the number one guy up under the Persian king at that time. Ahasuerus, I believe his name was, right? Salakia. So anyway, Haman, he was in good with the king of the Persians, right? So he was so mad that Mordecai wouldn't bow down to him. He got at the king and basically he asked the king for permission to slaughter all the Israelites. The king seen nothing wrong with it, seeing as Haman was a loyal soldier to him, and Haman basically kept the king's affairs in order, right? So anyway, so when Haman asked for permission to get rid of the Israelites, the Persian king, he didn't see nothing wrong with it. You understand? He allowed it to happen. But little did the Persian king know that Haman already conspired to unalive the Persian king. So what happened was, this Persian king, he became privy to the knowledge that Haman had a plot against his life. You understand? And the reason why he became privy to this knowledge is because, number one, he was married to Esther. Number two, Esther was Mordecai's daughter, essentially, and Mordecai revealed what he knew about Haman to Esther, and Esther revealed it to the king, and they had proof and everything about it. You understand? So what happened was, when the king found out that Haman had a plot against his life, you understand? The king allowed Haman, as well as all of his sons, to be executed. You understand? I don't want to really get into the whole the breakdown of it, you understand, because it's kind of like a long breakdown. But Haman set up these big, long, I want to say probably like 20-foot poles that he was going to have Mordecai unalived on. Well, what happened was, when the king of Persia found out the plot against his life that Haman had against him, he reversed the plan and allowed Haman to be unalived on these big poles. You understand? And this is where the Feast of Purim comes from. All right? Salakia. Esther 9:1. Now in the 12th month, that is the month Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had rule over them that hated them. The Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of the king of Ahasuerus to lay hand on such as sought their hurt, and no man could withstand them, for the fear of them fell upon all the people. And all the rulers of the provinces and the lieutenants and the deputies and the officers of the king helped the Jews, because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them. You understand? So it was supposed to be a death sentence for the children of Israel, but because Mordecai exposed this plot to unalive the Persian king, it was reversed to these Macedonians, and they got unalived instead of us, right? Verse 4, for Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame went out through all the provinces. For this man Mordecai waxed greater and greater. Thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword, and slaughter and destruction, and did what they would unto those that hated them. And in Shushan, the palace, the Jews slew and destroyed 500 men, right? So it names, different cities that these Israelites slaughtered these Macedonians, you understand, that conspired against us. And the people that was with Haman, right? Verse 10, the 10 sons of Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the enemy of the Jews, slew they. But on the spoil laid they not their hand. On that day, the number of those that were slain in Shushan, the palace was brought before the king. And the king said unto Esther the queen, the Jews have slain and destroyed 500 men in Shushan, the palace, and the 10 sons of Haman. What have they done in the rest of the king's provinces? Now what is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. Or what is thy request further? And it shall be done. So this Persian king is saying, man, look, y'all did a lot of damage, Esther. You and your people, y'all did a lot of damage. What else do y'all want? You understand? What's your petition? I'm going to grant it because y'all saved my life. This brother Mordecai was a good friend to me, and y'all allowed me to understand that I'm being plotted against, and they was going to unalive me, and I'm still alive because of y'all. Y'all did all of this damage to these people, and I'm going to grant you some more damage against these people if you want it. You understand? And to the tune of hundreds of people being slaughtered in these cities by us, as well as Haman's 10 sons, right? Then said Esther, if it please the king, let it be granted to the Jews which are in Shushan to do tomorrow according unto all this decree, and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged upon the gallows. Those gallows is those long, big 50-foot poles or 20-foot poles, right? And the king commanded it to be done. And the decree was given at Shushan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons. For the Jews that were in Shushan gathered themselves together on the 14th day also of the month of Adar, and slew 300 men at Shushan. But on the prey they laid not their hand. You understand? It was personal. You understand? We ain't give a damn really about their wealth. You understand? Or their money. We wanted to unalive these cats, right? Verse 16, but the other Jews that were in the king's provinces gathered themselves together and stood for their lives and had rest from their enemies and slew of their foes 75,000, but they laid not their hands on the prey. On the 13th day of the month Adar and on the 14th day of that same rested day, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. You understand? But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th day thereof, and on the 15th day of the same, they rested and made it a day of feasting and gladness. Right? So this is talking about the feast of Purim, right? Therefore, the Jews of the villages that dwelt in unwalled stones made the 14th day of the month Adar a day of gladness and feasting and a good day, and of sending portions one to another. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, both nigh and far, to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar and the 15th day of the same yearly, as the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the months which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor. And the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them, because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast that is, the lot, to consume them and to destroy them. But when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that this wicked device be devised against the Jews, which he devised against the Jews, should be turned upon his own head, and that he and his sons should should be hanged on the gallows. Wherefore they call these days Purim, after the name of Pur. Therefore, all the words of this letter and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and which had come unto them, the Jews ordained and took upon them and upon their seed and upon all such as joined themselves unto them, so as it should not fail, that they would keep these 2 days according to their writing and according to their appointed time every year. And these days shall be remembered and kept throughout every generation, every family, every province, every city, and that these days of Purim should not fail from among the Jews, nor the memorial of them perish from their seed. You understand? So in a nutshell, that's the Feast of Purim. You understand? Our high holy days are about the Lord delivering us from our enemies. You understand? It's not about coming together with your enemies. It's not about getting drunk out your mind and fighting over Christmas presents. Nah, our high holy days is for us to reverence the Lord and him being on the side of the children of Israel throughout all of these fights that we had in these records of the Bible. You understand? With that being said, Priest Officer Karan Yala, the IGPK Under Commander General Yana, Yahba Shimi Al-Shah Baraka Thumb to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Lathan Ba Shimi Al-Shah to the sisters. Shalom, Israel.